What is up, my fair people? It is I, Willie Cage, back at it again with another video. And I know it's a bit crazy because this time I'm actually covering a sequel. There's been a lot of movies I covered. I said I was going to do the sequel, but I didn't really do it. But who cares? Because this time I am. And what is the movie and the sequel? Well, it is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dose, The Secret of the Ooze. Now, if you haven't seen the first part of my video about the first movie, you should go check that out. But like I said in the first one, whether you watched it or didn't, is that I watched this movie and the first one a whole lot. But this time it's the second one. The second one I did watch a whole lot more. So I remember it vividly. I watched it to get the review stuff down, but I could just sit there, close my eyes and think about it and basically look at it scene for scene. That's how much I watched it. Let's get into it. What's the good, the bad, the ugly, the semi-good, semi-bad, semi-ugly? Who knows? Who knows? Only I know, because I'm the one doing the video. First things first, we obviously got to start with like a little synopsis, The first movie ends and they're basically just living with April O'Neil for the time being. Like, they're still looking around for some like places in the sewers and whatnot, but they don't really want to go back to where they were because the enemies know where that area is, and they don't want to get killed in their sleep or something, or beat up or whatever. So they're sitting there searching with Master Splinter and whatever. And while all this is going on, our good old pal Shredder, the old Shredhead, pulls a Jason Voorhees and lives. And not only that, but he wants his revenge. Because what did the turtles do to him? They threw him in a dumpster, crushed him up pretty good, and he's at the dumps. So he's back alive. And while that's going on, all these things are going on, there's a little company over there called TGRI. Now, what does TGRI stand for? Don't remember if they even said it in the movie, but I don't know. But basically, they have this little area that they messed up a bit, and they're doing their services and cleaning it up and trying to get everything out of there, because you don't want a dirty planet. That's on the news, and Shredder happens to catch some wind of that. Not good, because what he does, he sends out some of his foot ninja, because they're not all killed. Well, no, they're not all in jail or anything. He's still, when Shredder comes back, he's going to have his ninjas with him. Then we flip back to the turtles, right? They're sitting there talking about, we need to move here, we can't go there, we got to look here, we're not going to stay here, April, whatnot. Until Master Splinter calls them. He's like, yo, got some news to lay down on y'all. He whips out a canister. It's like broken in half, and he puts the two together. Whoosh, flips that Johnny over. And what does it say on there? TGRI, the exact company that's cleaning up all the waste and everything. So the turtles are like, whoa. Pops, what is this, my main man? He's like, it's about time I told y'all the secret of the ooze. And Shredder and mine, they're both paying a visit to the company. There's only one canister left. Unfortunately, it gets in the hands of Shredder, and that's basically a quick little razzle-dazzle of what goes on in the movie, what's like this, that, and that, but not too much spoiled, So, if you just want a little pinch of what to get into, right now is a good time to stop and watch the movie. If not, just keep continuing, broski. Now, when it comes to these videos, you all know I like to go over the good stuff. Mostly because when I say good, bad, and ugly, good comes first, so why not? And it's kind of like I said in the last movie, it's like one of my favorite things about the trilogy, because, yeah, there's a third one. The second one is my favorite, and I feel like it takes a lot from the first one, It gives it a little shoulder nudge and makes it a little better. Because I really like the fight scenes in this movie a lot more than the first one. The first movie has pretty good fight scenes and everything, but this one, it's also good and it's also funny, like the first one. But it's funny for me, it's personal preference here. Especially the first fight scene where they're fighting inside of a market and they're sitting there just using things that aren't even weapons as weapons. Like, they whip out a yo-yo, start smacking fools with that, whip out some sausages, whip out a belt, and they're just going ham shabam on those fools. Like, the fight choreography, chef's kiss on that one.
Wait, check this! Oh, walk the dog, that's pretty good, huh? And then, around the world!
But you gotta think, it was a different time, so they couldn't just CGI everything. They actually had to be good doing that stuff. Speaking of the beginning fight scene, if we rewind a little bit back on that, the opening scene, I thought it was pretty funny because it's sitting there and it's just like panning to a bunch of random citizens and whatnot, and they're just all just chowing down some pizza. I don't know why, it was just tickled my fancy a little bit. I thought it was pretty funny because, you know, Ninja Turtles pizza, whatever. Just a little thing right there. It's little things that matter, you know? The other fight scene that's really groovy is when they're fighting for the last canister, the TGR canister, the TGRI canister. And it's basically like game of, it's kind of like monkey in the middle right there, man. Like one person has it, they throw it over to the other guy, they have it, then the ninja grabs it, then they're throwing it back and forth, and then the Ninja Turtles grab it, and it's funny. It's funny stuff, you know? Not too much to it, but it's just funny. It's goofy. And much like the first movie, like I said before, I really like how they could have these super goofy scenes, but also at the same time have like a bit of a serious scene at the same, like back to back, or like, you know, it mixes seriousness with goofiness. And like towards like the endish or like middle end part of the movie where they have the TGR canister and they save Professor Jordan, something like that, the scientist for TGRI, they're like, finally, now we get to know what we are, like why we were created. Like they expected all these questions to be answered. It was like a gift from God that this guy's here, they saved him, and he could answer for all of them. But more or less, all they got was they were more or less just like a happy little accident, you know? It wasn't like anything crazy that happened to them. It just so happened that the canister broke and they were in a certain area at a certain time, and it's not like that was in their notebooks or anything. It was just that. But when he says that, you know, it kind of bums all the turtles out, especially Donnie. He like really takes it to the chin. But you know, it is what it is, and it really is what it is. I mean, I really enjoy that scene. You may not, but whose channel you're watching? Now, I don't really know where to place this in the good or the bad. It's not ugly. It's like 50-50 for me. But when Shredder makes his own mutants, right? So I'll go over the good first and I'll go over the bad. First of all, Shredder fights for that canister TGRI with the turtles. Well, not him, but this foot ninjas do. They bring it back. So he kidnaps that scientist, like I said. And he's like, yo, make me some fools like those turtles over there, because I want some. So they catch a wolf and a snapping turtle, right? And they mix them up with that ooze, and it creates two fools. Creates Toka and Razar. I think that's how you say their names. But more or less, it looks like a wolf man, and I think his name's Gamora from Godzilla, just like smaller. Anyway, those things are created. And those things are dumb as hell, bro. Like, super dumb. But that's because they're just animals from, like, wild nature. I know the Ninja Turtles were, but they were raised by Splinter. And he's a bit human. But these things were just made, and they're basically, you know, they're babies. Which I am not mad at. But that leads me to ask this question. Why was it not Bebop and Rocksteady? Because those two are stupid, but these things are even stupider. The way Bebop and Rocksteady are created in the show is they take these two, I think they're like bikers or like bike gang members or whatever. He takes them and he just mixes them up with a rhinoceros and a warthog, and then boom, Bebop and Rocksteady. But apparently they weren't in it because I think the director or the writer or somebody over there is just like, yeah, they weren't in the original comics, so I didn't want to keep it this. But broski, neither were these fools. And Shredder like dies in the first original comic. And I think like in the beginning of the comics, I think it's only really Krang that's the enemy. So if you want to keep it original, where the Fajibbers is Krang and Shredder should be DEAD. Or at least Baxter Stockman should be the second enemy for this movie. Or at least if you're going to keep it similar to the comics, then Baxter Stockman should be the enemy for this movie. But like I said before, it's like with the serious scenes and the funny scene, because when these fools come out, they're like some monsters. Well, quite literally because they're monsters, but they come out super scary looking, and Shredder's like, yes, bro, yes, this is what I need. Those turtles, forget those turtles, bro, because I'm gonna wipe my ass with them. But then these two, like, dummies come out, and he's just like, yo, science dude, what is up with these dummies? Because the first thing they do, he's like, Shredder wants them to attack him, so he could kind of like get a gauge on what he's dealing with here, you know, see what cards he's pulled out. But instead of that, they look at each other, and they look back at him, and they're like, "Mama," because they think he's his mother. Because of I don't know, maybe it's because he's the first person that they see. Hilarious. No, actually, tells them to call him master, and they're like, mama. I don't know. I found it funny.
Mama?
But Shredder did not, and he was gonna have them. But thankfully, the scientist was there, Professor Jordan, and he's like, whoa, they might be dumb as hell, bro, but look at how strong they are. And they're like bending fucking light posts and like lifting up trucks with ease and everything. He's like, all right, I'll give them a chance. Which leads me into two more things I really like about this movie. One, Vanilla Ice. He's in this movie. I think it's groovy as hell because he came out with this song for the movie. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. You can check that out. And that song, I don't know why, anytime I brush my teeth, that song that comes to my mind when I'm brushing my teeth, I don't know. It's like, go ninja, go. Personal thing, but the Ninja Turtles versus Toka and Razar, that fight scene is pretty awesome, you know? But before they get to the fight, it's the most stupidest fucking thing ever, bro. But they come in, Mikey has the idea, because if they attack these fools straight up, they're gonna get Hulk smashed. So they're like, yo, we gotta get this goo stuff into them so it'll reverse them. So they take it and they turn into ice cubes and throw them Johns into jelly donuts. And they have this whole scene of like this pre-fight ritual that they're supposed to give their opponent a jelly donut. Off the wall, man, off the wall. I laugh. I'm look at my grin, bro. I'm smiling thinking about how funny that scene is. Definitely worth checking out on YouTube or watch the movie. I think it's on HBO Max or Plus, whatever the hell it is. Watch it.
Num nums.
After they eat the donuts, they're sitting there burping the whole fight because they ingested the goo. It's stupid, but it's funny. And they end up in like a dance floor, and they're like, I don't know. It's just a cinematic masterpiece, I would say. From Willie Cage, that could have been the whole movie, and I would have been happy. All right. I know. This is about the last really good thing I have to say. And I don't know, maybe this is leaning into more bad, but Super Shredder, I feel like it was a bit of a waste. And I did not know this. Here's a little fun fact. It was played by Kevin Nash. Who knew that? Who knew Kevin Nash? My whole childhood, I didn't know that was Kevin Nash. Love Kevin Nash, aka Diesel. But when the Super Shredder comes out, you're like, holy moly, bro. Because, look, this Shredder's already big, and he's tough, and he's strong and scary. He's like this, and then Super Shredder, just, search up Kevin Nash. He is a big fool, bro. So we got Super Shredder. Now you're expecting like this whole fight scene with the turtles and Toka and Razar going on. So you're expecting after that to have like a crazier scene go on when they fight Super Shredder. But more or less, it's like kind of like this, like, oh my goodness, Super Shredder, and then it kind of goes right there. Let me tell you why. You're expecting the turtles to maybe get manhandled, and then that Splinter saves them, or Casey Jones comes back, or Keno, or some third thing to happen. Maybe they fight back. But all that happens is they're fighting at like a dock or something. I don't know. It's like a weird club, and they like make it to the bottom where all like the pillars holding everything up at the dock because there's water. And basically Super Shredder comes out, and he's basically like Bane on roid rage, because he comes out and he's like, "Argh!" And he starts like swinging, like breaking the post of the pillars, and he's throwing the turtles back. They're like, yo, you're gonna kill us all. And he basically like, then so be it. I think that's actually what he says. And he's knocking everything down, and the turtles are like, bro, what are we gonna do? Oh, look, there's water over there. And we're turtles. They jump in and save themselves, and then Shredder gets crushed, right? Super Shredder. And I feel like they could have ended like that. I feel like it would have been a little better if maybe he was fighting them, and then the turtles are like ducking, and he's like smacking the pillars, and they're like, oh, this whole thing's gonna fall. And they look over, and there's a water, like, all right, this is how we're gonna do it. And they're like fucking with them the whole time and having them swing and hit the pillars. I feel like that would have been a better idea. But I'm basically just full of gold today, I guess. All right. Backtracking a little bit, like I said, it was like a 50-50 with Toka and Razar. I would have preferred Bebop and Rocksteady in this movie. They're a little more competent. Not really. They're like this much more. But, it's a little special place in my heart. I got a mohawk, inspired a little bit from Bebop. A couple other things like Chuck Liddell and whatnot. You know, just a true classic. You know, just Bebop and Rocksteady. Just a little preference. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, we do get 2 new enemies, but I feel like the reasoning should have been a little better. He should have been like, you know, just want to try something a little different instead of being like, oh, comics this, comics that. When this fool didn't even stick to the damn comics in the first place. Now, the next few things, you know, like I said, it's all personal for me, but Master Tatsu, or just Tatsu, I feel like he was kind of just a waste in this movie because he's just in there 1 second. He's like, oh, I'm the new leader since Shredder's not here. And then Shredder comes back and he's like, oh, nah, never mind. Whatever. Then cuts later in the fight scene. This fool gets clapped with 1 fight move. The turtles are just there. They all rotate, hit him with their shell 1 time, like a compact thing, and just insta-kills him. Not kill, but ends him. Which is stupid. I feel like I said before, they should have just used Baxter Stockman. Why? Well, if he's going to go out like that, Baxter Stockman makes more sense than this dude that's supposed to be like this big, tough guy and just gets clapped like that. All right. If it was Baxter Stockman, this wimpy little scientist dude, they'd be like, oh, all right, whatever. Not even that, but also it would have been a little better because they have the good and the bad scientists. That little theme could have been there. And then it could have been like a lot more different things, especially with the mutants and everything, because Baxter Stockman's a bit crazy, you know? Just saying. I'm not the greatest of all time with ideas, but, you know, they do appear when I open my mouth. Pause. Last thing, all right, this was like the super thing that bugged me, is Kino. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad character or anything. Like, if you don't know who he is, he's basically this pizza delivery boy that becomes friends with the Ninja Turtles and April O'Neil and Splinter and Gerbil, and he kind of just helps them out. But I feel like he just replaces Casey Jones. He's similar to Casey Jones, how he just like does everything his own way, except he's like a little younger, so he's like, Splinter's like, take it easy, and he kind of listens. When Casey Jones is his own dude, he just goes out and does whatever he wants because he's Casey Jones. And he has his own anger problems. I feel like they could have just used Casey Jones in this movie since he was already in the first one. They didn't have to introduce this character. You know, Casey Jones could have helped find the Foot Clan with Raph because he's already friends with them, and everything else that Kino did, it could have just been Casey Jones. I feel like it was a bit not groovy for me, but, you know, it is what it is. They already made the movie. Would have preferred Casey Jones. And that's about it, my fair people. When it comes to this movie, what do I rate it? I rate it on this new rating system from Willie Cage. 4.9 boomsticks out of 5 boomsticks. Yep. It's hilarious. Got some good action. Great fight scenes. Not much else I need for a movie, man. With that being said, watch out for the next vid. Catch you there. Have a good day. Willie Cage.